5, 4, 3, 2. All right, guys, welcome to the Media Hijack Podcast. I'm your host, Billy Walters, and joining me is Chris, Unholy Jesus. Yeah.
Welcome back, fam. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump
Wednesday.
day.
We haven't did a Wednesday episode in so long, but it's good that we're back.
Yes.
Episode 194, main topic for the night. We're going to be talking about the New Orleans vampires, which is, like I was telling Chris earlier before the show, I never believed in vampires, like, at all. It wasn't even, not even a little bit. I was like, good job, Hollywood. You can't scare me with a vampire.
It seemed like, I know back in the day, people were really, really believable. Like, they really were, like, into the belief of vampires. Back to where, like, I think they would have, like, bells, like, in Europe. I think Europe did, like, this thing where they have, like, bells. Like, they would have, like, a little thing in the ground. And then, like an alarm system. If somebody came out, I guess, like, a bell would ring or something. I've heard stories about, like, they would, like, stab people in the chest just to make sure they wouldn't come back as vampires. So it was more believable back then.
Yeah.
And I guess as time went on, it's kind of like, you guys made them too cool in the movies. Y'all romanticized the body. Like, they got rid of the whole monster aspect of it and made them just look like pretty or look like humans. And it's kind of like, they look like us with teeth, so it's not as scary now.
With fangs.
Like,
aye. Bob says, I was sleeping in LA and I saw myself sleeping on one. Bob full of shit, but
sleeping on top of a vampire?
I never heard this story in my life. But
in a full suit, like a tux?
Yeah, that's wild. Bob came in too hard today.
What about Shapeshifter Bob? Let's you want to talk about? Oh wait, actually, you want to do? Let's do the intro first.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the intro, and then we get to Shapeshifter Bob. All right. So before we get started, if you guys want to get some official Media Hijack T-shirts like this one, you can head over to the MediaHijack.com. Chris has his on too. Let's go. Yeah. We're like twins today.
Got my armor on.
Let's go. You can go to the MediaHijack.com, grab you some official Media Hijack T-shirts, show some love, take some pictures, tag us, everything. Also, if you guys want to catch the replay for this live Twitch video, we're live every Tuesday or Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe. Audio listeners, rate, comment, subscribe. Give us that 5 stars. All right, let's get to this episode. So Bob says she slept on a vampire with a tuxedo on, a full suit. That is crazy. Like, why is she telling me the story now?
You had to explain, Bob. This is a dream or was this like real life?
But let me tell you about Bob, a shapeshifter story, because you were talking about, we believe in shapeshifters. But long time ago, right, when I was a kid, we used to play this game. I told the story before, where they pretended like I was a dog. They put a collar on me like I was a dog, but it was actually a belt from some pants. And basically they were choking me, but I was a dog. And then next thing you know, we looked up and we saw a dog, but I didn't see Bob at all. So I was like, thinking now, maybe Bob shape-shifted into a dog at that time and then shifted back. Challenge it, Bob. Challenge.
State your case.
Because where were you when that incident happened? It was a blue dog. Yes. Wait. If she knew it was a blue dog, then maybe she didn't shapeshift.
Or she knew. She knows that's her form.
Maybe. But the crazy thing with Bob, she has like a nose, right? Her nose is really strong, like a canine. Like, it's really strong. She could smell like a damn gas leak in the house.
Wait, Bob in human form has a strong nose?
Human form. She has a strong nose. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I remember she smelled a whole gas leak before a whole house got flooded with gas. Like,
you saved everyone's life.
Yeah. All her was arf. I was like, who's barking? It was Bob. Bob said, hey, gas leak. We got to call somebody.
Hey, girl, what is it? What is it? Arf. Gas leak.
What is it, girl?
Oh, we got to go.
Like, it's gas. I was like, oh, shit.
Get everyone out?
Open all the windows. That's what we do,
like
right?
Lassie.
Yeah, so Bob, she's notorious for having a canine scent.
Yeah,
don't be coming in the house with cocaine, because she'll sniff that cocaine out.
Oh, that's wild.
She sniffed the drugs out too.
Remember you told me? I remember the beginning of the story. I heard you mention before about them putting a leash around your neck before. That's not the first time I've heard that. I don't know if it was another situation that happened in, but I feel like I've heard that before.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, I think it's that story.
Okay.
Yeah, they did dumb stuff like that, and I was like, I was the youngest sibling, so they did. That's messed up.
And look, me and my sisters, we used to trick each other eating milk bones, dog treats.
Milk?
milk bone. The dog took the dog
Oh,
shook, like
dog food.
yeah, like my older sister's like, hey, my sister one day, I can't remember which one it was. It might have been my younger sister. So hey, try this. We can eat it too. And I like chowed down on that shit. And I was like, oh my god. And then I fed it to my older sister because I lied to her too. So
Damn, you guys are all wild.
yeah, we all ate it.
All wild. All right, let's get into this New Orleans vampire story. So before we get started, like the reason why I wanted to start covering this because I saw a TikTok video where a lot of people they were talking about how they would go to New Orleans, right? And they would come across like these mysterious people, and they said like the vibe of these people was like it's weird, and then they would look at them and like maybe they'll give them like a little smile if they can see a fang, but a lot of people out of New Orleans, right, the people that they identify as vampires, which I think that's fake, they shave their teeth to make it look like they got fangs. So they could be a part of this group. It's called Nova. It's some I forgot what it stands for, but it's like a whole vampire society down in New Orleans. But some people they said that when they were there, they said 100% for sure that these people are vampires, just by how they were moving. Because this lady said she saw this lady from far away, right? And by the time she turned around, she's already behind her, like some Twilight shit. Like I can cover some distance like really quick because guess what? I'm a vampire, Olympics, get out of my face.
All right, come get some.
I break records.
And hearts.
Break records and I eat baby hearts. All right, so let me show you this video because it's showing a guy that he claims to be a vampire. He claims that he's been living for hundreds and hundreds of years, and he actually showed his fangs on the video. And let me know what you guys think about this, because when I saw this, I was like, my gut feeling says like I don't think this dude is playing around, and he looks kind of like Chris. All right, let's go.
The thing in New Orleans, and this is when I came across this video of a man who claims to be a vampire. Check this out.
So that's him right now showing his fangs, and it's like his regular teeth, but then it just comes out.
Let me explain something about fangs. Fangs are like your saliva. You don't salivate unless you smell food, you think about food, about to eat some food. Fangs are the same way. Fangs are not meant to just pop out whenever.
In this particular video, he shows his fangs to some of his subscribers who at the time did not believe that this was a real deal.
It's coming out
so
and
he
it's
actually
moving.
does it again, but this time he makes sure to show people that this is not some sort of trick.
Careful attention to
he's
his whole
pulling.
mouth
Check
that
this
I'm
out.
about to tell you. He's showing his whole mouth, everything, right? But let me give you the dead giveaway of why I think it could be real. So right now he just showed his whole mouth, his walking out to the balcony. This is all continuous video recording. Ignore the whistling.
I said, what the
Look at that. It just comes out. And like some people are saying like, oh, doesn't the sun supposed to burn him? I think that's the Hollywood thing.
In another video of his, he explains that he's very old and shows a photograph of himself 100 years ago. Check this out.
Okay. I kind of feel like the more I show you, the more you guys won't believe me. But it's okay.
So now he's showing a picture of him from over 100 years ago, which is it's hard to tell, but who knows?
Hey, mama.
Some jazz days.
That's me. I've always
Old
been
Charlie
trying to
Chaplin
make my way
ass.
into film, even 100 years ago.
Now, I'm not exactly sure if this
And then there's this other guy right here, maybe in Nigeria.
Oh, yeah, he's got
This is a vampire from, if it's real, Of course, they're global, right? But it's crazy how it's like two black dudes. Look at this. His mouth all cleaned out.
Damn, what do you eat him?
Yeah, he probably swallowed that whole shit. But yeah, like when I saw that, I was like, that might be real. And I don't think he's really trying to convince anybody, because he was like, I could show you guys more stuff, but what difference does it make? Like, you probably won't believe it anyway.
It looked like it was a cut when his teeth went in, but I don't know. Maybe his fangs went in too fast. Maybe I saw it wrong, but we should.
Yeah, here's the crazy thing about it. When he started opening up his mouth, he showed his whole teeth and everything. Did you notice anything strange about that?
No, not look like a normal ass mouth.
It looks like he never went to the dentist ever, because there's no fillings or nothing.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this guy, if he's a vampire, he's immortal, right?
That must be a
And
vampire.
he probably don't need health care. He probably never even need to go to the dentist.
I have no fillings either. I have no cavity. I've never had a cavity or fillings ever in my life. Like when I go to the dentist, they check my teeth and they're like, "Hey, Mr. Jones, keep up your good job. Like you quit smoking, that's great. You're good. Your teeth are very strong. You don't have any cavities." I don't eat sugar like that anyways, so maybe that's why. But yeah, my teeth are like fucking good. I don't have like, so I don't know if that's like outside the ordinary, or I don't know, the way the dentists be talking to me, they're like, "Oh man, you have like, we'll just give you a quick cleaning and we'll send you on your way." I'm like, okay, like ain't nothing wrong. Like no, I'm like okay. I ain't never had no. The only thing I had was smoking, and once I stopped, I was good again.
You probably just told on yourself, Vampire Chris.
Oh look, please don't come hunt me, Blade. I don't know, bro. I don't
Get him.
know.
He's
what
in
I
Utah.
am. I might be a
He's in
daywalker.
Utah.
But ain't no my son out here, bro. I must be a daywalker.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, that's fair. But like a lot of people, they do usually have feelings from, the dentist and stuff. But like it's two ways to look at it, right? Like the only other way is like all the teeth is fake. And then of course, if you're wearing fake teeth, they're not gonna put a feeling in a fake teeth, right? No. So it could be like completely fake, whatever teeth that is showing.
Yeah.
But I was like, is this dude really gaining anything from this besides, small podcast talking about him?
Right. I mean, shit.
Yeah, because they're like, all right, prove it. Show an old picture of you. Like, okay. Even all black people. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, what I'm about to say might be bad.
He's all black people. Like,
yeah.
I was like, no, I'm gonna let you finish. Continue.
I forgot.
No, I was gonna say like he even has hair like a vampire. He got a little gray streak and shit, like all like dapper ass. Like,
yeah, like Blade.
Right. Straight up.
Right, I got some stories about New Orleans, because they actually have like a deep story with vampires. All right, so let me go down. All right, so have you ever heard of Jacques Saint Germain?
No.
So this story, he is one of the most famous figures in New Orleans vampire lore. So this dude, he mysteriously was a wealthy man. He arrived at the city in the early 1900s. Saint Germain was said to be charming. He never ate in public. He hosted like huge parties where they served rare wines. So the legend claims that he was the immortal version of, there's another dude named Count Saint Germain from the 1700s, and they said that he came back like 100 years later, well, like 300 years later, as a European nobleman, and then he came back to New Orleans, and they said it's the same dude. They look at the pictures from Count Saint Germain from the 1700s, and then they looked at his pictures like, hey, this might be the same dude, because there was an incident that happened with this dude Saint Germain in the 1900s where one night a woman, she allegedly jumped from like the second story balcony to escape. She survived, and then she told authorities that this dude is a vampire. He tried to bite my neck, he tried to get my blood and stuff. So like the authorities like, holy shit, let's go to the building and find him. When they went there, dude vanished, disappeared, never to be seen again. So like, this was like the story behind the lore of this vampire in New Orleans. Famous Saint Germain, Jacques Saint Germain.
Jacques Saint Germain.
Like, yeah, because they're like, this dude never eats. Like he he has knowledge of everything. Like they said, you give him any instrument, he knows how to play it. It's like he knew everything. He knew the history of like all the people from the past. They're like, damn, like you're pretty amazing dude right now.
You've been around for a while.
Yeah, he knew everything. He knew. Yeah, he was teaching people too, because he was like, oh yeah, I know about this. Well, let me teach you, young man.
I always wondered too, like if he was like an immortal vampire, you just live forever. How many times you have to change your identity? You know, because you'd be like, well, am I son's son, but you still you? You gotta lie about it, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Or...
Yeah, it's like Twilight, where every time where they get to the age where they're about to be like too old, they move to like a new city, and they take on new identities. Yeah, they take new identities, and then they're like, oh, we're teenagers.
I just watched the first Twilight not too long ago too. I don't even.
Yeah, I was trying to rewatch it, but Netflix took that shit out.
Netflix be getting weird with these movies, man.
I think that was a bad move, because I was trying to do some research.
It ain't bad, man. I don't think it's. I mean, the acting is whatever, and the writing, but I like the story, though. The concept of it is cool, but
yo, it's
some cool
it's
shit.
like unintentionally super cringe, but in a good way.
Yeah,
it's really good. Like oh shit, did they know they're doing such a cringe film? But I don't think they know it. That's why it was gold.
I think they all hate it now. All like the people that's like the dude that played the vampire and the chick. They hate that movie now. They're like, oh man, that was such a. Yeah. They're just trying to get their name out there in Hollywood, which it worked. I mean, it did what they needed to do, but
yeah,
the back then they're like
crazy.
The movie's so cringy.
Yeah.
Bob says the one-liners.
The one-liners are so good, and the soundtrack too. Like, damn.
Yeah, the first one, the first soundtrack. I know that Bruno Mars song. That shit was dope.
Oh, I forget.
It's a good song.
All right, so there's like another story out in New Orleans. Have you ever heard the Casket Girls?
I just saw the name like earlier when I was trying to look up something for this, but I didn't read too much into it. But I saw the name. What is that though? Casket Girls.
Yeah, so like the Casket Girls. So the legend dates back to the 1700s when young women known as the Casket Girls, they were sent from France to marry settlers in New Orleans. Because there was a time in New Orleans, right, where nobody was making babies because like there's like not enough females to males to where the females want to make babies and stuff, right? Yeah. So they started shipping females from France over to New Orleans. And then when they did this, like the first batch was bad females. They said like these are pretty much prostitutes. Nobody even want them like in the first place. So they had a problem with like the males and the females trying to, make babies. Mm-hmm. So they're like, okay, we gotta send them more quality females. So then the second batch of females, they're all like, they look nice, they look like they know how to take a shower correctly. They look like decent women, and guys will want to start families with them. So they sent these new second batch of females from France over to New Orleans. And the weird thing about these girls, they came with these suitcases, right, that looked like casket size. So they all came with casket size suitcase, and the people thought it was weird. They're like, damn, that damn suitcase looks like a damn casket. Hey,
little lady, you got that? You need help?
like oh shit, it's pretty heavy. So the rumor is, as soon as they got to town, they said like the townspeople, they started noticing a lot of babies were dying early, and then a lot of like men were being like mutilated on the streets. So they're like, okay, this started happening only when these new females came in, like with these caskets. So the rumor started happening to where they're saying, hey, these casket girls, they might have brought vampires from France, on a boat all the way to New Orleans to give them a life here in New Orleans.
Shit, I was thinking they are the vampire.
And they could be the vampires too. Who knows?
They're carrying their bed with them.
Yeah, so then like they like the ladies, they were kept at this place in New Orleans. It's called Ursuline Convent, and they were on the third floor. And the third floor, it was sealed off. Like nobody can even go to the third floor. Only they're allowed to go there. But the rumor is like, oh, the reason why we can't go here is because it's all vampire infested place. Like that's where all the vampires like hung out at this place, and that place is like locked up. I think it's still locked up to this day. Like you can't even go there. Yeah, so that was like the story of the Casket Girls, and that's why they call them Casket Girls. They came up with caskets filled with vampires. That's the story. That's the legend.
Surprised they never made a movie of that, man. That sounds pretty kind of like, that sounds crazy as hell.
I don't know. Maybe they have. Like, there's this lady, her name is Anne Rice, and she talks about, she make movies and books and stuff talking about all the vampire lore in New Orleans.
All vampire, dude.
Because it's huge, it's big, you know?
My mom used to read Anne Rice books when I was growing up, man. I think did she do an interview with Anne Vampire?
Yeah.
I can't remember, but
there's they came out with a series called Anne Rice Interview with the Vampire. It's on Prime.
Oh yeah, so she did she did interview with Anne Vampire. Yeah. I never seen the show, but I used to watch that movie with Tom Cruise back in the day a lot, man. That's a good movie. With Brad Pitt, really good movie.
Is that the one with Simon Hayek? Or that's something else?
No, that's what's that movie? She was at that strip club called.
Fuck. Yeah, I got to
From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah.
From Dusk Till Dawn.
My bad.
With Tarantino?
Yeah, the Tarantino. Yeah.
That's the good.
Yeah, I've never seen an Interview with a Vampire. I should watch it.
It's good, man. Good old fashioned, like it has like a Bram Stoker's type of feel to it. Really good though. It's nothing. It's like goes back to the day where Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise, which I heard in the main, like the true story, the book itself, they're actually lovers. In the movie, you don't really see it, or maybe kind of it's hinted at that Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt were lovers, but they never really showed it in the movie. But it just shows like how throughout centuries, how these are their lives throughout all these years, and how they bite this girl who was like, I think Kirsten Dunst. She was like a little girl in this movie. She was like in Spider-Man. The original Spider-Man. She's Mary Jane. She said they're all lovers. See, I know it was some kind of like sexual shit like that, man. I knew they was all banging each other. But anyways, there's like that's my favorite part of movies when they had Kirsten Dunst. She's like a little girl. She's a vampire, and she lives on for centuries. And she's like, hey, I'm kind of like 100 years old, but I'm still a kid. And she's like starts to go mad. So it's like it deals with shit that like, hey, if you get turned into a vampire at your bad age, boy, do you want to be a kid forever? Nobody's gonna take you seriously ever because even though you like 200, you look like a 9-year-old, and it's like. Crazy. So there's some cool stuff in it, and I was like, being a vampire isn't so fun.
You know who I think might be a vampire, and she got stuck at the young age?
Who?
Dakota Fanning. From Twilight.
No, she do look older than me.
Oh, she got older?
I just saw her. The last time I saw her in a movie was Equalizer 3. She's in it.
Oh, she big kid?
Grown-ass woman. She's like 33, 34 now.
Damn, she's like our age.
She still looks young, though. Don't get me wrong. It's not like she looks old, but it's kind of like... I don't know.
Yeah.
Ariana Grande, I can see is like a vampire. Ariana Grande, like...
Could be. A small vampire.
A tiny, little itty-bitty vampire.
Yeah, because she sings pretty good, so she might have like experience from 3 centuries.
Yeah.
Of course, you're going to hit that note a couple hundred years later. Like, oh, I got it. That's that note you're looking for, Simon.
And here it is.
All right, so moving on to like 2000s, like just like more modern day vampires and stuff. There's this location called the French Quarter in New Orleans. Have you heard about this location? Popular spot.
French Quarter, yes.
Yeah, so it's a historic district known for its vibrant life, nightlife, haunted history, and supernatural legends. This is like a party town.
Yeah, Mardi Gras, man.
Yeah, it's like Mardi Gras. And so the background, in the early 2000s, a series of strange events and rumors started circling in the French Quarter about a group of individuals who identify as vampires. These weren't just people role-playing or dressing up for fun. They genuinely believe in their vampire identity. So, when I read this, when they said like they identify as vampires, immediately red light. I'm like, anybody that says they identify as vampire, for sure 100% they're not a real vampire, if that's the real thing, right? Because I mean, that's almost trying to say like, oh, I want to be a vampire so bad, I'm gonna identify as a vampire,
right?
But then a real vampire is like, man, you don't want this shit. You're living through like this fucking bullshit, like it's like, I've been trying to be an actor for 200 years. Fucking Hollywood doesn't like me. I tried. I played every single role.
I ran out of ideas.
And then they get depressed, but they can't die. They're like, holy shit, I can't.
That would
I
be
can't even
depressing.
get into acting. Yeah, it's depressing.
It would be depressing, man.
So,
would
I
not wanna
mean,
live that.
yeah,
It's
and then
we're not meant to live this long. It's not natural.
yeah, and then it's crazy because like the people in New Orleans, right, the ones that identify as vampires, they actually drink human blood, but they drink it from donors who gave them, you know, consent, like physically donating blood to you so you could have your own whatever you believe and you can drink my blood. And then they have like these individuals tested. They get like certain donors where they verify them, they check them for blood pathogens and all this stuff. And like, all right, Chris Unholy, you're gonna be my donor. I'm gonna pay you this amount of money a month for you to give me this amount of blood every single month.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, I think if you were a vampire, you wouldn't need like no. I mean, can AIDS hurt vampires? I ain't no vampire, but I don't know. But it probably don't taste as good. It probably don't taste as good.
Well,
it might be one of them things.
Yeah, like I think for a regular human, AIDS probably would hurt them. So that's why they have to get them tested. But if vampires are a legit thing, right? And, you know, back in days, vampires, they don't check. All right? They just bite and be like, all right, I'm gonna just take your blood. Yeah,
Okay,
they're not gonna be like, hey, what's your medical records? Like, no. I'm gonna take the blood now because I'm craving it.
It might be too like what a vampire's like. Hey, you know, AIDS blood ain't so good as non-AIDS blood.
Yeah, it probably has like a metal taste to it.
Tastes like quarters.
Tastes like a penny mine.
Tastes like an arcade. I don't know how I feel about this.
Sticky arcade.
Right? Sticky floor.
So what would like fresh grade triple S class tier blood taste like? What would you think to a vampire? If you were to drink blood, like what would be like, oh, what's the holy grail of the taste of blood?
I think it would be, if I could like, not that I've ever done this before. I've only seen people like this. But if I could imagine how a vampire will go through with like the most purest of blood, I think it would be like taking a shot of heroin straight like to the vein, like mainline that shit. And you just kind of just like, oh, and you just slump over and just like zone out. That's like, I feel like what a vampire's always kind of like chasing that high. Like the first bite is always the best. It's like when your first cigarette is always the best. But no cigarette will ever be better than the first one you ever had. If you start getting to smoking, that's always been the saying. Yeah, you always like kind of chasing that cigarette. What if it's like type of things like that's how addiction. That's why things become addictions because you're always trying to chase that one first high, and you will never be able to get it ever again. So it's kind of like you're just chasing a tail, you know. And the more you keep doing it, the less effect it has on you. So then you're just constantly just chasing nothing at a certain point. So it might be one of the things. Is like it might feel like a heroin high, and I think probably the purest form is definitely from a baby. If they was gonna go for like something like pure, like no toxicity in it, no alcohol, no fatty foods in it. Like they just got breast milk on them. That's it.
Wow, that's a lot of details. That's a very interesting answer, by the way.
I like vampires, bro. I think about these things.
What's weird about this, right? Because I did listen to like a few interviews where it was on a podcast where a guy, he claims to have interviewed like hundreds of real vampires in quotations, and they asked him the same questions, like, well, like, what do you look for, like in like blood and stuff? And what they describe is exactly what you describe. So you know, I'm not trying to say you're a vampire, but the things like you're describing is like on par with what you know a vampire would describe the feeling of like a euphoria, like on a heroin trip. Like, this is nice.
Man,
and then when you said all that, I was like, I mean, Chris, he says he's not a vampire, and I should stop saying that you're a vampire because I don't want to die. You know where I live.
No, in my defense, I am trying to write a story. I've been writing this. This is a story I've been writing since like I want to say maybe 2010. It's called The Phantom War, right? Not to toot my own horn or anything, but I'm just giving it. The reason why I'm like I like having like a pretty not super duper knowledgeable on vampires, but the reason why I'm like I have some knowing about vampires because I've been doing like a lot of research on vampires for this story, and I'm writing a story about this World War II soldier who's, well, obviously in World War II with his troops. And while they're out on patrol one day through like Nazi Germany, he gets bit by a vampire and he's hiding it from his group. And while he's going around with his group, pretending like things fine, when they come across a Nazi group, like, okay, there's some Nazis up ahead, he's like, okay, I can feed. So he's trying to feed and then hide it from his group at the same time.
Damn.
And he's a fucking vampire.
Damn.
And yeah, so I've been like looking up like locations, like, okay, well, like what's German like folklore with vampires, and what would I'm like thinking about, like, if he's in Germany, got bit by a vampire, what would a German vampire be like? Like, what's the lore behind that? So I've been reading a lot of shit. So
That's crazy, man.
dude, but I like writing. It's a hobby.
That is. Yeah, you definitely have experience like with the whole vampire scene. Not saying you're a vampire. Not saying you're a vampire, but yeah. It's interesting answer. And
I see you, fellow human.
heroin, huh? Okay. So like one would like low grade, right? Like if you suck somebody's blood that had AIDS, like you probably would get like a Red Bull effect. Like, oh,
rash.
yeah, you get like, oh, I'm high on Red Bull for like 5 minutes, and then you could crash. Yeah, you get crashes, right?
Yes, is that a bad crash?
Yeah. Okay, that makes
Like
sense.
a sugar crash.
You know, vampires like. But yeah, I was listening to a bunch of interviews where he interviewed a bunch of people like who claims they're vampires, and they were saying how Hollywood, like, they added too much stuff to the whole vampire lore. For example, when they step into the sunlight, they burn up. They're like, that's strictly all Hollywood. Like, we can walk in the sun all we want. Like, it's not a big deal. Like, the only thing, like, I think they got that they nailed was, like, the fact that they need the blood and that they live, I guess, forever, in quotation. I don't know how long they live.
Yeah, I remember, like, with the Blade movies and shit, they would talk about, like, how, like having, being a vampire, like, Blade's biggest weakness was probably, like, his thirst. Like he would always try to fight it, but it's kind of like, hey, you need this to survive, but it kind of makes you a junkie in the same time. So he kind of like, yes, like kind of like have withdrawals from. He had like, I think at one point in the movie, he had like in the second one, Blade 2, he had to make like artificial blood. Like, hey, stop drinking like blood. You kind of really need to start coming off of it. With regular vampires, like, yeah, I'll drink any blood, but it's kind of like it's almost like they're a slave to it in a lot of ways, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like they can't control this sensation to like feed. Like, but the guy said in the videos, like, that's why, like, in that video with the guy with the fangs, the first video, the gray streak.
Yeah.
The part of the video, I was kind of like, oh shit, I get where he's coming from. Because like a lot of vampires, at least with some, I don't know if it's like modern stories, but there's stories with vampires where they do like their hunger is like their junkie type and like need for blood. And he says like his fangs only come out when he's like he smells something, or he's like when he gets the craving for it, that's when his fangs come out. It just can't just be like vampire mode. It's just like kind of like, oh, junkie mode. Gotta feed type shit. I guess you get the craving. So to me, I think that was like the most legit part of the story, more than what he showed to me. Cause I was like, that is real shit though. They are like kind of like junkies for blood and can't really control their hunger.
Yeah, it does make sense. Like when you crave it, it comes out. It's like for example, like with me, right? When I crave like sour fruit and stuff like that, like my salivary glands, like under my tongue, it squirts that water out.
Yes,
and I can. I'm happy. Either I can do it like on purpose, or it just comes out by itself. But it's like a natural thing because I crave like sour foods.
And just get that saliva build up and you talk. It's like,
I was like, damn, I need an orange right now.
That means I'm excited.
I need a mango right now.
Sorry.
Yeah, but the weird thing like about like that video, like there was a close up when they show the fangs, and you could see the fangs moving like it had like its own. Like it's organic. Secondary. Yeah, it was moving like. I was like, whoa, not like a mechanic movement, but like like if you saw like a caterpillar moving its body, it's like that. Like it was like a natural movement. So I was like, holy shit, is it really coming out like that?
It's no independent like thing. It's not even.
Yeah, it's like.
It's not.
Like when a spider. Like before the spider attacks, I might be saying this all wrong, but before he attacks his prey, like the fangs come out, like or like a snake. That's a better example.
Right. That's and the TV show Supernatural, they actually do a pretty good like research with vampires. At least in my opinion, they did, because they show like, hey, vampires have regular teeth, right? They all have regular human teeth, but they have like secondary fangs that pop out, and it goes over the teeth.
Yeah, you're not a vampire. Yeah.
No. Stop looking at my teeth.
Yeah, you're not a vampire.
Yeah, but Supernatural, they have like a thing, like a secondary fang that it pops
yeah.
out and it kind of moves. It's like independent from like your teeth. Because I know some things it makes like some like Spider-Man, some vampire movies and stuff. They do things like your tooth gets longer, which doesn't really make sense, I guess.
Right.
So, but I've seen like Supernatural does like no, it's like a secondary thing that like or a secondary row of teeth that comes out.
That might be what happened.
And it goes over your regular teeth. It goes over your teeth and then it goes back in when you're done. Like, and then you got it's like hitting your gums. That's how Supernatural kind of did it. I was like, okay, man, like almost like shark teeth in a way, like rows of teeth type effect, I guess.
Yeah, dude.
I'm
like, I'm 85% on that clip, dude. I'm 85%. I think he might.
Yeah, look, I was listening more to what he was saying. I was like, he knows something.
Because it definitely would have been a giveaway. Like, if he would have said some dumb shit like, yeah, I identify as a vampire, and check this out. Here's my fangs. But no, he was just like, teeth, like, ching, here it is. But yeah,
You can walk in the daylight.
There's also this group, it's called a vampire cult. So the group sometimes referred to as the vampire cult, which is made up with individuals who practice vampirism in modern day texts, like in modern context, like they believe in drawn energy or life force from other people, often through consensual bloodletting rituals. Like these rituals were performed in secret with willing participants who understood the risk and were deeply involved in the vampire subculture. So this is like the fake one. These are people who wish they were like vampires and they want to be vampires so bad because maybe they did came across some legit vampires and they're like, how do I be like you guys? Like, do I have to live the lifestyle you guys live so I can be one of you guys, you know? This is like the subculture of, you know, if vampires was a real thing. Like, these are people who really want to be vampires. And then they would have like people who are willing to let them do the bloodletting and perform all these rituals like in secret, like places in New Orleans where you cannot get access to unless you're part of this community. Which, like, I was watching a documentary on this vampire community, and once you go into that bar, everybody had fangs, dude, and they're just talking so casually and stuff. And then it depends on, like, I was looking at how some of the people were walking and how they carried themselves. I was like, in my head, I was like, maybe that one might be real, you know? As I was comparing the people to each other, you know, I was using my gut feeling. I was like, this dude, he moves like something that's not normal. So, yeah, I was like watching the interview. I was like, one or two of these people might be legit.
That's how, like, they don't walk like a human.
Yeah, it's weird. They have a weird ass aura to it, to where like you can kind of sense like, okay, they're not bullshitting, and they don't even want to be on the show, period. But somebody let that lady in, and they did the whole documentary and stuff. They took her to like the cemetery. They said like, here, there's places that we're not allowed to take you unless the guy upstairs said, hey, you give her that green light, she can take a tour to the places that the public can't go into.
I wonder why. Like, why them?
Well, it's basically like their own secret cult, you know. Which is
like why the exposure? Like, why would they want to?
that
let
lady?
other people see it?
Oh, why they don't want people to see it?
No, why would they? Because you said like some people came down there to check it out, right, or something.
Yeah. And then the lady was doing a documentary, and they didn't take her to like the legit spots. They took her to like just some spots where they're like, okay, a lot of the public can't see this spot, but we're gonna take you. But then there's other locations where strictly off to everybody besides the people who are really cool, deep into it.
But y'all cool, but y'all ain't that cool.
Yeah, like, where's your firstborn at?
Right.
Where that firstborn?
Firstborn for entry.
Yeah, that's... Well, New Orleans, like, period, is known more than just vampires. They have the whole paranormal thing, the whole voodoo.
That's shit.
Like, that place is crazy, man.
Between that and Savannah, bro, those two are like... I mean, I think New Orleans probably got Savannah beat, but every time I go to Savannah swears that they got like a New Orleans beat. So I mean, they trying to compete for like the the craziest spot in America, especially in the South. But they definitely like some two haunted ass places. Either way, they both really haunted. It's like it don't matter like who's winning, but.
I think New Orleans might be more grungier.
I think so too.
A little more like out there,
too.
like in your face, you know, like they're not afraid to hide it because they're like, no one's gonna believe this anyway. So, you know, they actually have every year they have a vampire ball where people dressed up as vampires, and they said like some of these people look so legit vampire, like they can't even tell. I was like, well, maybe they might be real.
Shit, right?
Maybe the one like you can't tell, like is wearing a costume is actually legit, you know? Whoever's wearing a top hat might be a real vampire.
I really do believe that at least in I don't know about like say I don't know every aspect of the world, but the reason why I think New Orleans is something about it and Louisiana itself is probably the most haunted place probably on this earth. It's because they have this thing with the dead. Like they have not like a fascination, but it's like they don't really fear the dead down there. Like I this guy I used to work with back when I used to work at the CDC and shit. He was from New Orleans, and he was telling me about like how his family's like, you know, family members would die. They would always have him posted up somewhere doing something or getting paraded down the street, like almost like dead, like Weekend at Bernie style, and people come visit people how like. For example, this like you see like videos online, and you can look this up too of videos or pictures, and when people in Louisiana when they die, especially parts of Louisiana that's really like into the culture of like respecting death and trying to understand life, they'll take a person, they'll set up like, you know, they always put them in positions like, oh, this is what is a hobby. They like to play video games, so they'll put them in a chair, put a controller, an Xbox controller in their hand, have the TV on, and have NBA, you know, 2K, you know, 10 on the screen or some shit, and then family members and people in the neighborhood will come through, pay their respects to the person, a literal dead body in a chair, as they just, you know, just sit there for a couple of days till everybody comes, pays their respects and go, and then they parade them down the street. And it's kind of like, that place has like I ain't gonna say fascination. It's like they have a very good like respect for the dead out there. So I can see why like it's got a lot of supernatural levels of stuff. It's different. It's different how they celebrate the dead and how the living is like, you know, because the dead is a part of life, and that is a huge fear of like almost anyone's entire existence. But it's inevitable, and down there it always seems like, well, this is the end of one phase, the beginning of the next. So let's celebrate your life more than your death type, like, you know, culture out there.
Yeah.
So if that all makes sense, I know it's kind of like all over the place with that. It's kind of like
it does make sense. And then like not just like in like New Orleans, like they do this like in Asian countries too, where if like an individual they were so into something, right, in their funeral they'd be like, oh, he loves soccer, and then we're just gonna do his funeral like he's playing soccer,
right,
like some shit like that. So in the Philippines too, it's like it's really something like that. And Cambodia, they got this weird shit where once you like pass away, right, they will actually leave your body in the house for a long time before they even like bury you.
Yeah.
So you're still living with the dead in the house, and there's a dead body just chilling in the house the whole time, and then, you know, people coming in and out of the house like it's nothing, but they just ignore it. But there's a dead body in the house.
I saw one. I saw this video the other day, but I saw it years ago. But for some reason, it just popped up like on my algorithm or whatever. But in Mexico, there was like this teenage boy that was like murdered, and he's a part of a soccer team. And so they took his coffin to like the soccer place where they used to always practice soccer at, and they had his coffin right there. And they went and they played soccer, and then like, you know, kicked a goal, and they was playing against the team members. Just team members playing against each other, and there's the team members of the boy, the deceased boy. They were all team members with each other, and they was playing soccer with each other, practice and whatever. And then they kicked the goal, and they all went over there and like paid their respects to the coffin, which was like right there on the scene, right next to the goal. And I don't know, it's like, so he's got some old cultures that really respected death. I think modern culture fears death more than anybody. It's because I don't know, old culture seems to have more respect for the dead. The modern day culture seems like, oh shit, we can't die, we gotta find immortality or something.
Yeah, it's gloomy. And
yeah.
You know how like the rumor about like when people go to funerals, right, they dress in all black? Well, you know like the lore behind that?
No.
They said the reason why they have people dress all black because they don't want the spirit to recognize anybody. Because if they recognize you, they're going to follow you home and they're going to stay with you.
Oh.
That's like the lore behind it. That's just one story.
Wow,
Though.
I never knew that. Holy shit.
It's like if you wore like white or like wore like regular clothes, they'd be like the ghost would be like, "Oh shit, that's
Ghost
my boy
buddy.
Chris.
I
We're going back.
see.
We're going back to his place.
Let me get on your back.
Piggyback ride."
I'm with you.
Oh, this place is hot. What is this, Utah? Nice.
Oh,
Let me unpack
AC
my
house.
bags.
I'm just hang out here for a couple centuries.
Like, damn. It's like I'm dead, but
Damn.
damn, this heat.
Okay. I never thought about why people wear black at the funeral. I thought it was more of like a mood based thing, and less of a hey,
Well-
protect yourself.
I mean, there is a lot of other reasons. This is just one reason
Okay,
that caught on with me. I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
I like that more than anything I've ever heard about that. That's probably my favorite one
Yeah,
I've heard.
it could be, that's, yeah, we're black.
Yeah.
Or you're going to catch a ghost in your back.
There's always stories about hey, don't bring those spirits with you when you leave the graveyard. I mean, that's like that's old school shit. Like, don't bring nothing home with you from that cemetery.
Yeah, it's
Take-
crazy how,
take
like,
your house up.
like the cemeteries, right? Like you would think, like, oh, this place it's infested with ghosts and stuff, right? So, to me, like growing older as an adult, it's like there ain't no ghost at a cemetery. That just doesn't make sense for a ghost to linger at a cemetery.
No.
That's just my brain thinking. But there's a bunch of videos. It shows like how like Teslas, right? They can detect people on the screen. And I know you've seen this video where a Tesla drives to a cemetery and they can
Oh,
detect
shit.
people like in the cemetery. And it detected a whole bunch, right? I was like, holy shit! I guess they do linger around cemeteries. That's weird. That's a weird place to hang out. And then
That
like
makes sense, man. You
Yeah.
know, because like if it's all electronics, probably picking up like electronics and like supernatural kind of go hand in hand a lot of times. So I can see why it would have been.
yeah.
Tesla.
Yep. And then like there's like another video, right, where it shows like the Tesla just driving just on the street, and then this lady's like, look at this person that's not even existing in real life, but it follows her car. Like every time she moves forward, like this body follows the car.
What?
And it shows on her screen, and she's like, why is this body following me?
What?
Yeah, like I think like with the technology we have now, I think we're able to detect the paranormal that's happening. Like here's another example, like when people they do like selfies and stuff like with the filters, right? And you know how the filters where it's like detecting like a dog face or like a face where they put like the filter on your face and it'll detect like two other faces in the back.
Right.
That's like a real version of showing that technology has caught up with like capturing stuff in the paranormal realm. That it's picking up like faces in the other side that we can't see.
Yeah, we ain't got eyes for it.
Yeah, and they caught up to that. And I don't know if they did an update where they're like, all right, if it's a ghost, they put in the program, if it's a ghost, ignore it.
Man, look,
Put that
they
in
already
code.
trying to test the limits with like that crazy ass. The AI system they're trying to make to where like if you have a loved one that passes away, then you like if you give a recording of your loved one's voice, you could talk to them over the phone, but it's like AI generated voice of your loved one. It's like I feel like they're trying to like tap into a way to get into the dead. This is like I feel like this is like the beginning phase of trying to like do like old school Tesla spirit phone shit, but they're doing it through AI. They're trying to do AI is gonna be the back door to this shit to talk to the dead. At least that's why I think they're gonna go with that because that is
Dude,
fucking creepy that they're trying to make this attempt. I think that's so. Don't do it, please.
dude, like whatever you just said, it was full circle of what Tesla was saying before.
Yes.
How Tesla, a long time ago, he was saying that he's making a device where he can try to link up this reality into like the reality where ghosts live or people on the other side, the different realms. And he's saying like in the future we're probably gonna be able to make a device where we can link these two realms together. And then what's crazy is that, right, like fast forward to like today, Tesla cars, they're able to detect like I guess ghosts in the cemetery.
Oh yeah, full circle, bro.
And it ain't even like a Tesla invention. It's like the Tesla company that was influenced by Nikola Tesla, which is
right.
it's insane. It's a full circle. That's a full circle moment.
Wow, we back where we started.
He was like, oh shit, they're doing it now. And they're using like They're using my name with these cars, electric vehicles. And
Yo, you ever see this movie called Black Phone?
yeah, no.
Oh, bro, I think it's on. But you're gonna like this movie.
It's where?
It's on. Is either on Paramount Plus or Peacock? I say check both of them. Might be on
Damn,
Peacock.
okay. Let me write it down.
I'm pretty sure it's a Peacock. It's this movie about this child serial killer. Right. He in his basement, he has a black phone.
I remember this trailer, but go ahead.
Yes. When you pick up the phone, when you talk on the phone, you can speak to the dead. And when you talk to the phone, it's all the kids he killed. And he's like, he only heard the serial killer. The story's never like, I only seen the movie like once.
Damn.
But it was a great movie. I need to watch it again. Fucking great movie.
That's crazy.
But actually, the guy who wrote the movie, the movie is actually based off of a short story, but a short story that was written by Stephen King's son.
Damn.
So it's, dude, wow.
They're all
but
twisted.
Anyways, sad. But anyways, let's get back to it. Sorry. The great movie. So anyways, about a serial killer a child serial killer who is obsessed with this black phone in his basement. It's in his basement. It's on the wall. When you pick it up, you can talk to all the dead kids he's murdered. He said when he was a child, he only used that phone once, and he spoke to the dead, and he heard back. But as he got older, he could no longer hear voices. So he's like obsessed with. I need to find a kid. Like I need somebody. Tell me what's on the other side. It's like a Tesla phone, but like it's never explained as one, or a spirit phone. It's never explained as one. But it's a black phone on the wall in this dingy ass basement. Don't know how. They never explain how it's been in his house, how long it's been in his house, how it got there. You just know this dude that lives in his house is a serial killer that kills kids, and he needs somebody to tell them what's on the other side. Because I heard a voice on there when I was a kid. I need to get in touch again, and he's like obsessed with kidnapping kids. Great movie, man. But check that shit out, man.
Yeah, that sounds
Black
wild.
phone.
How do you think of a story like that if it wasn't like true in your life?
You know what I'm saying? Like I saw that movie, I immediately thought of like Tesla phone. I was like, oh shit, this is.
Yeah, the spirit phone.
And it was an old school phone looking phone too. It was like little.
Yeah, the
rotary phone.
rotary, whatever. And we're back with Chris and Holy with the next topic for the night.
Yes. Let's talk about the Olympics. Went on for 2 weeks. It was good. Some hit or misses, man. Track and field was dope, man. That was my favorite part of the Olympics. That was, man. Did you ever watch it? Did you watch the event with this dude named Quincy Hall?
No, I didn't see none of the Olympics besides the breakdancing.
Dude, one of the best wins I've ever seen in track and field. That was like the best track and field run I saw off the entire Olympics, man. Super damn dope, man. Shout out to him. But then we had some like kind of crazy. Actually, we had some crazy shit going on with breakdancing. With the ray gun. With this woman named Rachel Gunn. She like from Australia, was a breakdancer. They say her background was like, I think African American culture or some shit.
Wait,
she's like a college professor, dude.
Her name in the event was Ray Gun.
Yeah, Ray Gunn. Her real name's like Rachel Gunn. Man. Right? Some people say it was corny. I was like, you know what? Her last name was Gunn.
Nah, like if it's corny, it's a good corny.
Trust me, that was the least worst thing we seen in that damn thing. But
yeah,
but I'm calling right now. I think she's gonna get her own movie. Give it a couple years. They're gonna give her own fucking movie.
That might be a stretch, but I wouldn't say a movie, but I think her fame has skyrocketed. Like she might be like the first like Olympic athlete that was at the Olympics that didn't win gold or any medal or whatever, that made a life for herself as far as like fame through like basically being ridiculed like for her performance. And I think this is the culture we live in now. This is like reality now. Like if people who perform bad, like if it was bad enough to where like it becomes like a meme, you're instantly famous.
Yeah, I remember that back when remember with American Idol with She Bangs.
Yeah. William Hung.
Yes, him.
Yeah,
like that type of shit. He got big, and they gave him a whole album.
Yeah, he had a whole album, dude.
He got a whole fucking album,
and he definitely got his 15 seconds of fame, and he banked. Like he made all the money, and he clocked out.
And he got in, got out, and then kept it moving, man.
Yeah.
So that's the era we live in, man. You be a fuck up, you could still be, you can be Hawk Tour girl,
like Hawk Tour. Like you could be like just like her. Like she didn't know she was gonna be famous, but then like shit, this shit spread through the internet like wildfire, and then
Dude, fast as shit to a point where she's getting a reality show. Like what?
she basically could do whatever she want to do now, because there's so many people like trying to offer like so much money to do their shows and all this stuff, because people want to know like what's like, you know, like what else is special about her, or whatever. Like they just want to see like a train wreck basically.
Well, I wonder when it's going to get to a point where she gets tired of like, hey, I actually have dreams and goals. I want to be a singer. I want to be a dancer. And it was like, who's going to want to hear her at this point? Like,
yeah, I don't know.
See?
Like,
already,
I think this was her golden ticket out to like her whatever her life was before, and I think she can only go up from here. And like, good or bad, I think her life is on a different trajectory, like from what it was. Big time.
Change your life for a good minute.
Yeah, big time. She went to a whole different route.
I think even Pornhub may have given her some. Hey, we'll give you some money.
Yeah, everybody, because they want a piece of that fame. If you're that famous, right? If so much people know you, like, hey, how can let's offer like this amount of money. Let's see if we can get her on this show, or let's see if we can get her on a podcast. Let's see if we can get her on a porno, like whatever it is.
Yeah. Did you see that one in the high jump? I'm not the high jump, the pole vaulting jump. I can't remember what country he's from, but this dude that pole vaulted, white guy, he went over the pole, and his dick hit the rod, like the yeah. See, and Pornhub offered him a porn deal.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, they came up to
damn.
Him. Like, well, this Olympics was wild, man.
Bob sent me that video where people were reacting to the pole jump.
I saw it once. I was good.
The dude, he gave the computer to his wife. His wife looked at it. She was like, "What the hell?" Like it has his own zip code. You know, like, it's so big. You know.
Damn, his own gravity field. Like, God, man.
Yeah, like
that was crazy.
He lost out on gold because it was too big.
Remember, man.
That was the meme.
Wow, he don't come back. He don't come back in 4 years as a woman. Chop that shit.
I know, right? It's like, hey, this is not really me. Like, take
this shit off. I want that gold so bad. I'm gonna just get rid of this whole thing. But damn shame, man. But hey, I bet you ladies are all up in his DMs right now, though. Shit. I mean, shout out to you. I think it's Denmark.
Because Olympics is one of the sports where the whole family's watching.
It is a family event, man, and it got weird with them opening shit too. But that was a whole nother thing. Also another thing I was talking about the Olympics. You know that kind of like, I'm not gonna say they're banning boxing, but that's just not gonna be in 2028 because the Olympics next year. The Olympics in 2028 is gonna be in LA.
Whoa!
Which they should have did That's what they should have did breakdancing at, man. Why y'all doing it in Paris, bro? Like, say for LA, some kind of American spot. You know,
it's a build up now. Like LA, when they're going to LA, it's gonna be more hardcore.
Because they got on the list for 28 Olympics. They took away breakdancing.
Wait, what?
Ray Gun fucking destroyed it.
What?
So they're not doing breakdancing. They took. I got a list of it. Where's my list? They took it off like a lot of shit to me. But boxing is one of them, man. They're taking boxing out the Olympics until. They said they have 2025 to prove their point and the reason why the Olympics committee is actually removing boxing from the Olympics because you know what? Betting. Corruption, a lot of betting, like a lot of money. Yes, that ain't nothing. If you watch boxing, you already know what the gig is, and they saying it's starting to pollute the Olympics as well too. But now fans of boxing are saying like, hey, you're gonna kneecap boxing as a whole because this is how you get your Golden Gloves. This is how you get your Young Bucks in. So what is it gonna do for the industry as a whole going forward? Is it gonna be a normal thing? Are y'all gonna keep rejecting the boxing from the Olympics? Because Olympics is saying, and this ain't nothing new, boxing has a corruption problem. And so,
dude, I think Olympics has a corruption too. Like the whole breakdancing thing.
Well, hell
I think that whole shit was rigged too. Like with the judges.
Straight up.
Because there was some performance where I was watching, I was like, ain't no way the other guy won. This shit has to be like a rigged.
The Olympics is such a rigged sport, even to a point. The Olympics is so rigged. Does anyone ever notice Russia's never in the Olympics? They got banned from that shit.
Yeah,
they got banned from the Olympics because it's always such a rigged event. Because this is the creme de la creme of where you trying to get the fastest, strongest beings on Earth, basically mutants, to do things that most humans, less than 1% can even do, and you need to have them on a world stage, and it's a good flex for your country, and people gonna do what they do to cheat, man. Fuck. So I get why they kind of look like in a boxing, like they kind of late with boxing, to be honest, but so just kind of looking at it like, y'all got to get y'all shit together before we can have y'all back in the Olympics. So there's still time for them to be in the 2028 Olympics. It's just that they have until next year to like kind of clear their case up. So we'll see, man. This is the first time in over a century that boxing has not been in the Olympics. So this is going to be a new era. But
yeah, that's going to be crazy.
And then that's why like boxing committee or the IBA is like, well, you're going to hurt boxing as a whole. They're like, well, then stop the corruption, IBA. Figure this shit out. So we'll see how it's going to affect the ring in the main and like as time goes on. Because I think Logan Paul was supposed to be fighting in 2028, quote unquote. One of them Paul brothers. They said they want to fight in 2028.
Yeah, I think it was Jake Paul.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the whole thing, like with the corruption, like with the Olympics, it's like this one dude, right? He called out every person who was gonna win in whatever sport it was. To like, they said like his win rate was 95%, right? Oh, and he had like, I think he had a Telegram with groups with people that joined the Telegram to where they all placed like the same bets, like what he was saying who's gonna win, and all of them 95%, all of them won so much amount of money to where they found an individual who was doing the bets, and then they banned him from like whatever social media because like it felt like he knew something that they didn't know because he got 95% of the bets right. And then if you think about it, like with the whole breakdancing competition, like that shit, it was probably rigged too, like with the judges, where you can see like with your own eyes, like, okay, you saw this individual winning, but then the judges gave it all to the other person, and you're like, holy shit, is this rigged too?
Yeah, with the breakdancing thing, I was wondering who did they come from a dancing background or who they were picking? Not saying like, I mean, I don't know, I'm not even sure what they was exactly judging on, because some people that they rated good. I was kind of like, I've seen people better in Atlanta, but I mean that's just me. But I don't know. It's just kind of like, I don't know. Like, are y'all getting like people from the b-boy culture, or like who are these people y'all picking?
Yeah, I don't even know how they were judging it. Like, if they were judging it on like people doing like really difficult moves, like power moves, where is known in the community as like something difficult to do, or are they rating on how they're choreographing their moves with the music? Like, I didn't know the judging system, how they were doing it.
Me neither.
That's why I was like, as a audience member watching, I was like, how are they judging this? Because it's very hard to judge this. Like, I've been like this.
They should have grabbed some judges from Break Atlanta. There's like, they should grab actual judges to be in this shit. Because
I mean, maybe like they were like official judges that did judge a bunch of like breakdancing competitions, but we don't know that. Like, when they show the scores and stuff, it doesn't show like what they're looking for, right?
Yeah, we here at the Media Hijack are not sure who they have for judges. We're not saying they ain't judges that aren't legit, but I don't know. I just know with my eyes though, when I saw them dancing, I was like, oh shit, they're dancing like 1970s breakdancing, 80s. I want to see some more like breaking, like electric boogaloo, some shit, like how Turbo was dancing on the walls or something. I don't know. Maybe I was asking for too much. I don't know.
Well, like when I was watching like the men's competition, like how they were breaking and stuff, dude, they were doing like crazy shit, dude. Like, it looked like stuff I've never seen before. I'm like, damn, that looks fucking crazy. Like, it looks.
Granted, I haven't seen all the breakdance. I just saw the ones that was kind of like highlighted on Peacock. I didn't watch the whole event. I completely missed the time of when it started on Friday. I was like, oh man, I was like, damn, Mountain Time.
It was pretty good. Yeah, it was legit. Mine is the Australian girl.
Yeah, man. It sounded like she kneecapped fucking breaking now. It's not gonna be in 2020.
Like, she made the whole shit look bad, and
she was doing like some kind of worm shit, and then I'm seeing
the bunny hop, and then
and then stomp the yard shit.
Yeah, and then she fucking laid on the ground and did like a Homer Simpson.
Homer Simpson?
Yeah, the Homer Simpson. Yeah, I was like, what is
internet? Like, the internet was like
fucking gold. I was like, is this like I thought it was like a Saturday Night Live performance, like making fun of Olympics breakdance, right. But it was like the real Olympics.
Dude, I always tell people, hey, there's nothing funnier than real life. I'm telling you.
Dude, real life, dude.
Humans are funny. I say this as a vampire. Humans are funny.
Whoa, okay, vampire.
No, I mean,
Okay.
oh.
Okay.
Oops.
Heroin user. But yeah, like I could see her being a Halloween costume coming up this year, and I don't know if I can get like an Olympic tracksuit, 2024 Olympics in Paris.
Buy some gold medals.
I might be a breakdancer for Halloween.
Buy gold medals. Buy some gold medals.
Yeah, chocolate.
Yes.
Chocolate gold medals.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, get it, man. Yeah, man. Olympics is weird this year. I enjoyed it though. It was fun. But that's it for my Olympic news. I think. I don't think I got anything else for that. That's just the wrap around of like the Olympics was all right, man. I don't know. It was cool. It had some good moments. Had some weird moments. Seemed like there was a lot of sexual shit involved with like promotion for the Olympics. Like some weird commercials. I was like, okay, this is France, the we city of love. Like I know I sound ignorant, my bad, but no, it just sound like I don't know. This is kind of like I saw like a commercial of like this guy and this other guy with like all each other's face, and this is all promotion for the Olympics. I was like, okay, they're about to bang each other out in this commercial, and then this female walks in and it's like they're all in each other's face. I'm like, okay, they're about to have a threesome, and they all go upstairs, and the camera follows them, and right when they're about to go inside the room, and you see the background while the guy and the girl are kissing, the other guy, he gets in front of the camera, he smiles, and he closes the door, and I was like, and it's an Olympic commercial, and I'm like, what? Like, what am I watching?
What are they selling us?
It's like Cheerios.
Oh.
No, it was for the Olympics. I don't know what. It was a weird commercial, man.
Yeah, that sounded like some damn cologne commercial or some shit.
Yeah, that's what it looked like at first, like some kind of like a lingerie or some kind of like cologne commercial. That's the vibe it gave off at first, and then it was like, oh, this is for the Olympics, okay.
That's wild.
All right, I know it's got go for the gold. What y'all pushing for?
I remember like this one commercial. I don't even know if it's like Olympic commercial, but it shows like this guy. He's trying to put his golf balls away. I mean, not golf balls, bowling balls, right? Mm. And then one of the bowling balls slipped out of his car and it started rolling down the hill. And then it shows like this kid at the end of the hill. He thought it was a soccer ball, so he jumps up. And then the commercial cuts out. And then it shows like what they were selling.
Oh, I've seen that one.
That's a dead kid. That's not a bowl. That's not a soccer ball. That's a straight up bowling ball.
I think I see that one.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit.
This shit got dark real quick.
Yeah, dude. Like,
I think he made it
with like the commercials like here in the West compared to like all the countries like in Asia and all those other countries. Like they're pretty raw out there. Like they don't hesitate to say what they really want to say. Bob says insurance. I think it might have been an insurance commercial.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, like for example, like in Japan, right? They're marketing detergent. How detergent clean your clothes so good, right? Like they had like this black dude. They put him in a laundry machine, and then they washed him, and then he came out. It was like a white dude.
I know it.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, these commercials. Out here, like,
people get wild.
Yeah, I was like, they don't give a fuck. They're like, yeah, we're gonna wash all the dirt. We're gonna show you how good our detergent is.
That must be like a foreign commercial. America, that shit would have got.
I think it was in Japan.
Yeah, I knew that shit was in America. Mm-hmm. America would have been like, what the fuck?
Yeah, arigato.
Dumbo.
What else we got, Chris? Unholy.
But that's it. I wanted to cover Olympics. I was watching it like clips of it every day and try to keep up with what was going on and the drama and shit. This shit was crazy, man. What else happened? Lady got accused. Oh no, Lady got accused of being a man. Like Olympics was crazy. It was fucking stupid.
Wait, who got accused of being a man?
I forget what country she's from. Her name's like Imani. She got accused of being transgender. She was a boxer. She was a boxer.
Oh, okay.
Boxer. She was a boxer, and they was like, well, she looks like a man. To me, I mean, look, I don't watch boxing not nearly as much as I used to. I've kind of fallen off the sport, to be honest. I'm kind of doing the same thing with football. I don't know, sports ain't really kicking it with me no more. But when I used to watch boxing, it's hard to find a pretty faced lady in the sport, man. Like it wrecks your face, man. If nobody doesn't believe how badly sports can really wreck your face, and I'm not saying that he's a horrible looking man, but look at somebody like Shane Mosley and look at his nose. His nose has gotten flatter over the years because he's had it broken so many times. His nose was never that flat when he first came out. I remember when he first came out, but it just shows like, hey, your face is gonna take a pounding. It's gonna get rougher looking. It's gonna look different. And she got dragged for looking a little too rough or whatever, and her testosterone was like too high for a woman, but she was born a woman, and so. But yeah, she's actually doing a lawsuit right now too. She's suing J.K. Rowling and Elon Musk.
What?
Because they was running around on Twitter dragging her for being transgender. Well, sorry, for saying she's transgender and she really wasn't. She's actually a woman born a woman, and yeah, she's like, this is kind of like, and she was getting attacked all over the internet for this. It was a weird time, man. This was weird this year, man. It was good, the bad, and this is the ugly part of it. She's just like a lady who. Like, when you're in the boxing ring, you ain't wearing no goddamn makeup. You're not looking all pretty. You gonna have your hair up in this. You'll be greased up. You'll be ready to go. Everybody's gonna look like no damn model. Because I saw a picture of what she looks like outside of the ring, and as a normal person, and she looks like a normal lady, just a little bit taller than what you expect from an average girl, a little bit more strong looking, but she's definitely a lady at the end of the day. But I guess people on the internet dragged her as like transgender, and she comes from a country where. Even if she came out as like transgender, she'd probably go to prison for it because I think she's from Algeria. I think she's from. It's illegal to be transgender over there. You get prison time and shit. And I guess people dragged her for it. Now she's like, well, I gotta do a lawsuit. If I go back to my country from the Olympics, they might throw me in jail because I'm not what they say I am. I'm actually a lady. I just got high levels of testosterone. And if that's the issue, then maybe the boxing committee needs to start grading women on how they need to be into the sport based off testosterone, which I think will make it fucking boring if they do it like that. Like, no, man, they're a woman, let them roll, man. Some women got high testosterone, some don't. You either can fight or you can't. Man, I'm not really. That was the ugly side of the Olympics. That was the shitty side. But other than that, I enjoyed the Olympics for the most part. That's some fun shit. Track and field was the best. That I was glued to track and field. Great shit. And then breakdancing was kind of like, it's funny.
It's new, and
it's new. You gotta give time to grow, though.
But I think that what they should do different is do it in a group. Like, do a group breakdancing.
Right. Because it's a whole lot better. Yeah. I want to see something like I can't remember it. You Got Served. I want to see some shit like that.
ABDC, whatever. American Best Dance Crew, like how they did it.
Yes.
Where it's a group against a group. They should have done it like that. Like a whole team representing a country.
It's boring with one person. I think that's probably what it hurt. Like, to me, that's what was missing. I didn't even realize that you just said it, but get the group in. Like, don't do singles.
Yeah, I think it's too much pressure on that one person. Like, because it's one person representing a whole country in that one field for breakdancing. That's too much. Yeah,
I think they're throwing it out too fast too. They kind of give it later time to grow. Like, get kind of like you said, like, which I'm glad you said that. Like, let's kind of refine it. Let's do the whole group thing and like have one at a time. Have some hype people, man, because this is like you got a crowd and judge. There's nobody in the crowd. Have some hype. You need to have some people hyping you up in the background. They're like, get it in, you know?
Yeah, because with the whole group, you can critique it a lot. I don't know if it's easier, but there's more stuff you can look for, like, because if the group is not synchronized, you can score that, you know? Because for one person, like, what can you really score on? Like, as far as, like, breakdancing, like, somebody could do all power moves and stuff all the time, but they don't hit the beat. Like, how do you even score that?
Right.
But as a team, I think it's easier to score.
Oh, shit. Yeah, man. Yeah, you need to write that letter in, man. You need to get in contact with.
I think a lot of people is going to be talking about that. Bob says they need to fire the DJ.
Man, yeah, that music was trash, man. Like, actually go to the culture and get people from the culture and have them represented in the Olympics. You just like you just grabbing.
Well, with the whole thing with music, I don't think they want to be copyright strike. You know, because the whole thing, like with music, you gotta get like fucking licensed to play a certain music and stuff.
Right.
And it's too messy.
He's like, we'll have
So
this DJ.
they had to put like the most generic like beat, like you just made off of GarageBand in like 5 minutes, but it's still original, and you can play it on TV, and nobody's gonna get sued.
Damn.
And that's what we got.
The Olympics can't be that broke, man. NBC can't be that broke, man. They can
No, they got
some
money. Yeah, for sure. They got money.
But that's how you get rich. You gotta be cheap. In order to be rich, you gotta be cheap. So maybe I don't know. But that's the Olympics, folks. See you in 4 years in LA. I'm more excited for LA, man. Let's get back to
LA's
the States.
gonna be crazy. They're gonna clean up Skid Row.
You gotta be joking.
That might be non-existent.
You already know it's coming. They about to fucking shoot Skid Row into the sun. They are getting that whole
Skid Row's
spot
gonna
out of
be
there, bro.
gone. That shit's gonna be
Sad.
yeah. You gonna see like boutique shops like coming up in that Skid Row area.
Man, they already trying to criminalize homelessness in America. This is the perfect to make this crazy shit happen.
Mm-hmm. Bob, since you saw that handover, it was good. What handover?
What handover?
What does that mean?
Breakdancing?
Yeah, I don't know.
Handover. I think I'm thinking my handover was like a baton and track.
I'm thinking the Hangover movie.
It might be that too. The D is close to the G. I'm excited. I really want to go.
I think we all should go to that Olympic.
But I'm right here, man. If I'm still here in 2028, I'm so down to drive up to LA and just go see it.
Yeah.
Oh, Paris to
you'll
LA.
Still be alive,
okay.
Vampire Chris.
Oh no, I didn't.
Vampire Chris will still be around.
I'll be here. I might look younger. Who knows? Depending on how many babies I eat, I guess.
No, you're not gonna look younger. You're gonna look the same.
I don't need to say that. What if I run for president and they use that as a fucking clip? He eats babies.
You're gonna look the same, Vampire Chris.
Says it was good. Okay, I didn't see the handover from Paris to LA. Oh man, I gotta look that up. Okay, yeah, I get it now. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm more excited for LA, man. I like how like it was in Atlanta. It's something about when it's in America. It's like the hype is next level shit, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they gonna clean up LA though. They got to.
Bob says,
I
did you see Tom Cruise come to the stadium and toot a flag, rode in a motorcycle to the airport?
No, I heard he was there though. I didn't see that. I did hear Tom Cruise. Yeah, I heard he's doing some stunt type shit. I mean, this dude trying to beat death. I guess I don't know what he's trying to do at this age. I don't know.
Hey, with the Scientology that's backing him up,
maybe he's immortal. He's like, I could die and then but I'll be back.
I wouldn't be surprised. He has that vampire blood.
He's got to. Scientology weird, man.
You know who I think is a vampire before we end this?
What's that?
Jay-Z.
Yeah, I saw that picture of that one dude from Jay-Z in 1940s, and then Jay-Z now. I was like, is it? You better show that. You better have proof that's your grandpappy or that's you. Like, I ain't trying to hear nothing else but that.
I'm pretty sure Jay-Z. I think he really might be a vampire, dude. If you listen to all like his songs and stuff, like it's so good. It's like it's like you have too much experience to be at your age right now for what you're saying and how you're saying it.
And how much you've accomplished. Hey, now you're a billionaire.
I was like, and then you know how to like market himself, but then not be like in the limelight like that, but still make the amount of money that he's making.
Yeah, that people work for him now. Shit.
It's a lot of stuff like behind the scenes, and I think he learned this centuries ago.
Through time.
Centuries
studying
ago, like he learned the way of like accumulating wealth.
Dude,
long time ago. Like, it's easy for him.
It's like in the movie Blade. They have like these elder vampires who've been around for centuries, and because they were like they're like upper echelon type rich, where the public don't even know they exist, but they have people within the general public known as familiars who are humans that aspire to be vampires one day, and they do all the dirty work, like they make sure like vampires are kept safe when they're sleeping in coffins or whatever. They do all the dirty work, do all the cover-ups, but familiars always have tattoos on them somewhere, either behind their ear, inside their lip, on their wrist. So they always have a tattoo on them to let the others, like familiars out there who are humans, who are just basically wanted to be vampire slaves, but eventually went to like the kiss of vampire, the Vampire Nation's boot because they want to be inside the club. So they try to do all the dirty work for them. So they out there, they do more of the legwork than the actual vampires themselves. So it might be them things. It's like, upper echelon vampires are kind of just on chill street, but they need humans as a source of like, because in Blade, the cool concept was you have vampires who want humans as cattle and that sees them as a useful tool. And then the reason why the Vampire Nation started falling apart is because there was another vampire who's like, well, they should just be cattle because there's vampires out there who are starving on the streets who don't have the resources that y'all have, and they need to be seen as cattle. So it became like this beef between should they be food or should they be useful tools for us to keep us afloat as a society? It was a good contrast of like, hey, this is like this concept, man. It's like this two ideologies clashing, but humans are fucked either way.
I'm starting to think like maybe like vampires like it's not even a thing. It's more of like a lifestyle. Like let's say if you want to live young, right? And then they knew like, hey, how do you live young? You drink the blood of like young people, and they can continue to live young, right? So let's say somebody centuries of years ago, hundreds, maybe 1,000 years ago, right? They figured this out. They're like, all right, like I'm gonna keep drinking the blood of young people, and I'm gonna remain young, and I'm gonna live life as long as I can. And they figured that a long time ago, and they just kept drinking blood of like, people, and they just kept living, and then like, holy shit. And then it came to the point where like these people, to where they're like, hey, I've known you like as a kid, but you still look young for so long. How do you do this? So the rumor started to happening, like it starts to happen to where like, all right, they could be, they gave a name to them like vampires, But then it was just something that people did where they just drank blood of people, and they kept them young the whole time.
Right. And the name just stuck.
Yeah, it just stuck. And then there's probably people still till this day that drinking blood of people.
Right. But as a people, as a society, we turn them into like these mythical monsters. But it's like, we just like to drink blood.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Like we made them to these like mythical creatures, and like, oh, they're so fucking cool and shit. But basically, they're just drinking blood the whole time. And we could do that too.
That was like the OG, where like supposedly Dracula's based off Vlad the Impaler. He was like the king of not Transylvania, Vlad, whatever them countries are over there. My bad, but can't think of it. But Dracula's character is based off Vlad the Impaler, who was this guy who used to like when he killed his enemies, he would put their heads on stakes after he defeated them, and then he would drink their blood, and he would dip his bread in blood, and then eat like just like it was normal. Everybody was like, "What the fuck?" And that's when like the whole lore of the whole vampire thing is like, "Hey, yeah, he ain't like us. He kind of different." And then maybe he just sparked like a type of like society that people was like, "Hey, man, if the king's like us, then shit, maybe we could." I don't know. Maybe it might be some type of thing because Vlad the Impaler was actually a real dude. They used to drink people's blood and dip his bread in it, and even people that worked with him were like his soldiers and generals were like, hey, this is kind of weird that he just consumes and he ain't getting sick. Because when you digest blood, it actually makes you sick as a human.
Yeah.
So he's the OG.
Yeah, that reminds me of like this other story with this Filipino lady, right? Where she stayed up at she was like rich and shit, and she stayed up like in this villa, right? But she would like her story is that they said like all the females that she got up to like her villa, she would kill all of them, right, and drain them of all their blood, and she would drink their blood and then bathe in it, and she'd done this like for so many years until she finally got caught, and she was like, holy shit, like this lady has been killing females for all these years, like all these people that's been missing, it was from her, and she killed all these females because like she believed like she can live forever. Because she drank all their blood, she bathed in the blood, everything. Like she took baths, she took a whole bath in their blood. And then
was that in France?
Was it France?
I think she was a queen. No, was it Marie Antoinette? No, it wasn't Marie Antoinette. No, there was a queen, and we might talk about this in another podcast. Yeah, those are like she's like it was like always maids and shit, right? She was just killing maids.
Yeah,
it was like her maids or something.
Yeah, I thought it was a Filipino story.
Okay, so I think it's like an English story too. So I know it's a lady in England did the same thing, but Maybe it's like but then again, there's a lady in America that did the same thing too, but she did it back during slavery, where she used to eat like black people and then bathe in black people's blood. So it's like
they all did it.
Stay young. So this is like I think this might be a multi-story. There might be
this is
a thing
global.
with this.
They did it globally. Holy shit!
Yeah.
Damn.
Holy shit. That's also kind of like, wait, this sounds familiar to like English story, but then I was like, wait, there's actually an American story the same way too, but happened during slavery in Louisiana. It happened in Louisiana. She used to bathe in black people's blood. Yes.
Holy shit.
Eat black people's body parts. She had them locked up in a dungeon. Eat body parts, but it was all like she ate black people just trying to stay young, on some like cannibal shit. Some people thought she was like a vampire or some type of monster, but yeah, I think American Horror Story, like The Coven, the 4th season talked about her. I like American Horror Story. It's a good show, but yeah, they got. I see she pops up in the show for a little bit. Of like
I think there's truth in all those like series like that. Has to be. Yeah. Like even Black Mirror.
Yeah. Maury. Is that the lady's name?
That's Bob in chat.
Hi, Bob.
I'm gonna be random. Just do a random name out.
Maury. Let me look it up right quick. I don't know how long it's gonna take it to respond.
All right, Chris, about to look it up real quick.
And then we're gonna hop off. Unless you got another story.
No, that's the only thing I got.
Maury.
Bob says, "Man, best series is one. Lervay. Lervay is his name. Lervay, her name is. Damn, she typed like what? she's R word.
Man, best series is one. Lourve. Okay, so it's Lourve. Lourve Museum.
She said French.
This is Olympics. The museum in France, I think.
Let me take a leak real quick. I'll be right back.
Okay.
You're still live though.
All right. I'll talk to you, Bob. Help me understand. Her name is French. Okay, so are we talking about the lady that was in American Horror Story, the one that used to eat her slaves? Yeah, it was like a French name, I think. Well, I remember, I mean, yeah, she was in Louisiana. Check spelling. They got her name set up as a museum. Yeah, okay, so the same name. Okay, so same lady. All right, I'm about to look her up. But we do an episode about her. That lady was fucking wild, man. That was the only reason why I knew about her was because of American Horror Story. Because I remember that episode where they kind of start going on background, and you find like, oh, she does. Not only did she like eat black folks, did she like eat a baby? I think she had like a black baby or something, and then the slave black lady jumped out the window and killed herself. Man, that was Coven's the best season to me still of American Horror Story. I don't think I've really watched too much after that. I watched, I think, Freak Show a little bit, but Coven is still the best season of, to this day. She was buried. She was a real person. Okay, we should do an episode about her. She's crazy. She just eat people all the time. And trying to get young, too. She's drinking blood, everything. Bathing in it. Wow. Yeah, she ate black babies. Oh, she was crazy.
Damn, just black babies? She didn't eat Asian babies?
Well, she was a slave owner. So the thing about slave owners, and this book I've been reading for a while on and off, it's called The Delectable Negro. And it talks about how during American slavery, how there's this conception that slaves were just always just working in the field for free. But there was there's a whole bigger thing than just free labor. There was a lot of rape going on, forced, like, kind of like, forcing like gender breeding, like kind of like you want to create the strongest black baby, so we need to have this black person to have sex with each other, give like birth to a super black baby, so we can build like a super strong slave culture that can just be stronger and work harder and faster, because the older generation is dying off now. But a lot of these people that own slaves, especially in the South, had, not especially South, just everywhere, anyone who had a slave had unfitted access to them and did awful shit to slaves. God knows what. Actually, they did awful things to slaves. But one of them was this lady who used to eat them, and like a lot. Well, anyways, she's this lady that was in American Horror Story, ate slaves. But the book Delectable Negro talks about how in slavery time it was white culture's thing, like rich white folks that own slaves, because that's who really owned slaves. they ate black folks and nobody knew about it. It was always like a secret society, and that's why they don't want the truth of slavery coming out. That's why they're trying to remove them from schools, because it's kind of like, it's one thing to make people think that it was a forced labor and this, that, and the third. And maybe some people might be cool with raping black folks and selling their kids and stuff. But when whole cannibalism comes into the concept, it gets really strange. Cannibalism is disliked on almost on a global level. You will get shut. Racism is more accepted than being a cannibal. And if the evidence comes out that, hey, rich white folks were eating slaves back then could like try and like gain nourishment, like they would like take black folks, like Nat Turner, when he died, he's like the first black man like did like a slave rebellion to a point where he fucking he went on a killing spree and tried to free black folks. And when they killed him, they like peeled his skin off and squeezed the oil out of it, and they sold it on the market and they used it as eye drops. So like, hey, black folks, white people, you can like get stronger. You ever seen the movie Get Out? Get Out is like the perfect example of like white folks back in slavery trying to gain the attributes of what black people can do. And so it becomes like this weird thing where they don't want people to know about that part because it looks weird, and it's fucking very weird. So it's kind of like, let's kind of stick with the narrative like, well, they were slaves and they just overworked, and the end. But yeah, and then you got some women like people like this lady who used to eat her slaves and try to get nourishment. She didn't know, she drank blood, bathing in it, eat black babies, women, and kept them all in her basement and took off chunks, cut out kidneys if they was hanging up, take the pieces, make a stew, eat it. Wild shit. And that was in Louisiana.
Like a hot dog competition, like you know how like there will be like events like in your neighborhood, like, hey, who has the best chili stew? And then this lady, you know, she's the reigning champ, gold medalist. She happens like to get all this meat from human, like real legit humans and shit.
So I call it black stew. Like, okay.
And it has like a distinguished taste, like, oh, like this doesn't taste like any cow or chicken that I've ever tried.
It reminds me of South Park with Cartman killed that, was it Scott Tillerman? I think, what was that boy's name? He did a chili competition where he killed his boy's parents and had them chopped up.
Damn.
And then the boy ate his parents in the chili competition, didn't realize it. It's an old school South Park episode. One of the most fucked up moments.
That's wild.
That was Cartman at his peak evil. That's what it reminds me of. Like, hey, chili competition, and the boy's like eating like, chili's good. Cartman's like, yes, I'm glad you like it. I got your parents killed, and he's like a flashback of how the parents got killed because Cartman knew the parents like loved animals, and they went to a farm to save an animal, but it was a no trespassing farm, and they got shot, and they took the bodies and they chopped them up and put them in the chili. Damn. And then the kid ate it. It's fucked up. It's like that shit. South Park is awful. I love it.
Is it still going on, South Park?
Yeah, man. Yeah. They're still doing well, last time I watched it was doing they had a COVID episode. So I was like, I check out South Park every couple years and then I binge watch it. So it's probably about time I need to check it out again, to be honest. But last time I watched it was like, oh, COVID episode, and it was like an hour-long episode of like how South Park had to deal with COVID and you know how that show can get.
Like they went through it with everybody else.
Right. Crazy times. Yeah, but that's it for the Olympics.
We're at like 1:46 minutes. I think we might be good. Unless you got another story you want to tell.
Can wait till next week. No biggie.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. Next week on Tuesday. Is that the date?
Tuesday, the 20th?
Yeah.
Yeah, the 20th. Tuesday, the 20th. I'm good. I'm looking at my calendar right now.
We're good for next Tuesday.
Yes. I apologize to all the listeners out there. Man, this has been a busy-ass summer. If you're still sticking around for us, I appreciate it. Just life be lifing. I love you guys. Be safe.
There it is. Yeah, we love you guys, and we're always going to try to put an episode out every week. We're going to try our best. We'll catch you guys next week on Tuesday. Peace out.
Yeah.
Adios.
See you guys.